evening and welcome to a beautiful session that you are about to have and you will never regret it. This is Peace Mastery 2026. My name is Lordreign-Mohammed for those who are just meeting me for the first time, and I am your peace anchor and conflict transformer in the right way to make use of it. I'm a peace building consultant who helps organizations and governments in resolving conflicting interests between HR and the employee and the government and the citizens by serving as a mediator. So if you are in need of such service, I am available to render that. For this evening, I am here to hold your hands to help you understand the dynamics of living a peaceful life and how you can live peacefully throughout 2026. Maybe last year you smashed your goals, you made the money, and yet a part of you still feels like something is missing. Apparently, what is missing is that inner peace. And as your peace anchor, I am here this evening to hold you by the hand to have a peaceful 2026. Can I tell you something? This conversation is long overdue. And so it is important that we have this conversation. Hello from wherever you are watching me from. Please let me see you say hello in the comment section, wherever you may be watching from, your name, the country you're watching from, and what the time is over there. This is Nigeria, and it's 6:30 p.m. West African time because we are in the West African part of the world. So I'd love to see your comments. Say hello and wherever you're watching from so that we can connect with each other. Please pardon this webinar. We may not have, how will I put it? We may not have a slideshow because of the medium at which I'm reaching out to make sure this holds. There is no excuse for success. To anyone who must be successful, you must do anything to make sure that you keep your word. And that is what I've done this evening to ensure that I keep my word. So please and please, I want to see your comments, your name, where you're watching me from. It is very important so we can ensure that we connect with each other very well. Thank you. My name is Ibukunlua. This evening, it is about peace mastery. Your roadmap for a peaceful 2026. How to enjoy peace. How to live a life filled with peace. Some of you do not know that peace is an art that can be mastered. And I'm here to let you know this evening that it is an art and you can master it. That is why I am here for you. Before we begin at all, let's do this quick exercise. Are you ready? Are you ready for the quick exercise? Let me see your thumbs up in the comment section if you're ready. Okay, so do this with me. Place your hand on your chest. Take a gentle breath, a very gentle one. Not that kind of breath you take when you are exhausted, but a gentle one, a very gentle one. Inhale peace and exhale tension. Again, inhale calm and exhale fear. Let your shoulders drop. Come on. Let your mind settle. Because what you are safe here, you are very, very safe here. So what should you expect in this webinar tonight? This is the first of its kind. And I want you to be rest assured that you are not going to regret it. I am going to deliver the best so as to ensure that we all live a peaceful 2026. Remember, I am your peace anchor, and I'm here to hold you by the ends to ensure that you live a peaceful 2026 and to make you a peace-oriented individual, so that even if anyone tries to to take away your peace in any way, just because you are a peace-oriented individual, you can easily let go and ensure that peace reigns. So in the next few hours, we'll break down peace into simple steps, divided into 5 sections. Somebody say 5 sections. Very good. The first section, we are going to be learning about the true meaning of peace. What does peace mean? We know that peace in the general world seems to be calm. We believe that it is a way of being calm. Tonight, you are going to understand the deeper meaning of peace, the true meaning of peace, the hidden sources of conflict, because there is no way that we can talk about peace without mentioning conflict, because we all know that conflict leads to peace. Do not go anywhere. I'm going to tell you a story of my experience while growing up. It is one of the reasons that made me choose this peaceful life and peace building consultancy, because we do not just desire peace, we need peace. So hold on, do not go anywhere. I'm going to tell you a story of my life, a true life story. The third section, which is the section 3, we'll be looking at the peace map. And yes, let me give you this tip. Is it a tip? Listen to me. In this webinar, I'm going to be sharing with you, if you could stay till the end, there is a peace tracker I am going to give you that will help you to track your peace for 2026. That is one reason you should not go. Stay, hold on. We are getting somewhere. The fourth section will be talking about how to prep for a peaceful 2026. How to prep for a peaceful 2026. And then the fifth section, peace tools and framework. Did you see that? You got that right? Exactly. Peace tools and framework. So I'm going to be giving you some tools that can help you to track your peace for 2026. If at all your peace is about to be threatened. So stay and do not go anywhere. Now let us talk about the first section, which is the true meaning of peace. Let me ask you, in your own language, in your own best language, what does peace mean to you? Let me see your comments. What does peace mean to you? What do you understand peace to be? I'm interested in seeing that. But let's start by clearing the biggest misconceptions. If you would agree with me, we've mistaken peace in one way or the other. Some people have taken peace to be silence. Like when you are in a turbulent phase, or when somebody pisses you off, and then rather than you saying something, you just choose to make sure that for peace to reign, you kept quiet without saying anything. That is not peace. Oh yeah, that is not peace. For example, you kept quiet, and yet right inside of you, I know you've been there, that moment where your colleague at work annoyed you, and the next thing you did was just let it go. But however, you let it go on the outside, not on the inside. And before you know it, right inside of you, you are telling yourself, if I catch this guy outside, if I catch this girl outside, oh, if not for this work, this HR would have heard from me this evening. If not because this HR is my boss, this HR would have heard from me. I don't know if you can relate. Can you relate to that moment? And instead of you to express yourself, you just let it go. You let it slide just because you felt peace should reign. But that is not peace, because a part of you is still troubled. You only let it go on the outside without experiencing peace on the inside. That is not peace. So let us begin by clearing the biggest misconceptions. What peace is not. First, peace is not silence. Did you see that? Can you hear that? Peace is not silence. Just like I cited the example not so long ago. when you decide to keep quiet, and yet within you, you still feel troubled, that is not peace at all. If for any reason you kept quiet on the outside and inside of you, you are still fighting, in fact, you have set a boxing stage dealing with the person, punching the person on right inside of you, that is not peace at all. You are troubled. You are troubled. You are troubled. That is not peace. So get this right. If you are not going to believe, if you are going to be leaving this webinar, leave it with this one thing, that what? Peace is not silence. However, do not go anywhere so that you can know, as I'll be teaching you in this webinar, how to even express yourself in such a way that you can still maintain peace. The reason why many have discovered that the reason why many keep quiet is just in the aim, they are with the aim to let peace reign. Unfortunately, peace is reigning on the outside while not reigning on the inside. And what is peace when it is not experienced on the inside? It is definitely the opposite of it. So stay glued, because we are going somewhere. The next one is what? Peace is not pretending. Do you know why? Because I've been there, or because we just want things to be, want the atmosphere to be too tense. We just keep quiet and feel like, oh, I have to just let it, for peace to just reign. You wake up in the morning. If you are married and you greet your husband as if everything is fine, you greet your wife as if everything is fine, or even in your place of work, you just, that colleague who annoyed you yesterday, you have not found peace on the inside to forgive the person, but just for the sake of letting the atmosphere remain calm, you just pretend as if all is well. Yet, you are not at peace with that person. That is not peace. Peace is not what? Peace is not pretending. The next thing, peace is not avoiding conversations. This is common. All in the name of let it just slide, let it slide. I know you must have heard that word very well. Let it slide. Let it slide. You are letting it slide, and yet you are not having peace. That is not peace. Peace is not avoiding conversations. It is important that you have a conversation so as to have inner peace. We are going to be looking at it this evening. So as to have both peace on the inside and outside, it is not avoiding conversations. So say to yourself, from now on, I am not going to avoid conversations in the name of peace. Because that is what many of us do. All in the name of peace, we avoid conversations. What is peace when it is not experienced on the inside? I mean, you cannot sleep in peace. You are sleeping and your mind is fighting that neighbor of yours. That is not peace. You are sleeping and you are setting the stage for a big wrestle. That is not peace. Peace is not just what happens outside. Peace is deeper than what we see it to be. So again, peace is not what? Peace is not avoiding conversations. The next one I want you to know this evening is that peace is not suppressing your emotions to keep everyone else comfortable. Oh my goodness, I am guilty of this. Surprising, right? I'm sure you are also guilty of it, or maybe at a point in time you are guilty. Peace is not suppressing your emotions to keep everyone else comfortable. I know can you remember that moment when you just had to keep quiet, not express yourself simply because you want another person to be comfortable? And you know the worst part about this thing is that when you do it, you are not at peace. The other person could be at peace, but you are not at peace. And peace is about you. Peace is not just about the people around you. Peace is about your surrounding, and it is about you. So what is peace when it is experienced only in your surroundings and you are not experiencing peace? That apparently is not peace. So let's just do a quick recap. Peace is not silence. Peace is not pretending. Peace is not avoiding conversations. And peace is not suppressing your emotions to keep everyone else comfortable. Now let us get it straight. What then is peace? If peace is not all this that we've mentioned, what then is peace? You need to know this today so that it can help you throughout this year and even your lifetime. Peace is strength. Repeat after me. Peace is what? Peace is strength. If you are wondering how is peace strength? Peace is strength. When we talk about peace being strength, it is about the ability that you have to express yourself even when the atmosphere seems to be unfavorable to you, in order for you to experience inner peace, in order for you to be at peace with yourself. Peace is strength. Peace is stability. Peace is clarity. And peace is mastery over your internal world. Peace is strength. When you express yourself, for you to experience that inner peace, that is peace. You have expressed peace in a way that only you can understand. Peace is strength. It is the vigor that arises from within. Peace helps you to forge ahead. Peace helps you to stay strong. Peace helps you to stay still, even in the midst of challenges. So when we talk about peace, we are not talking about peace when you are avoiding conversations. That is not peace. Peace is when you are able to express yourself, and after that conversation, you have no reason to think of battling or wrestling with the person that you are seeing around you. Peace is what? Stability. It keeps you, it's when you are able to experience, when you're able to stay stable, even when the wind is shaky, even when the wind is blowing heavily, yet you remain without shaking. That is peace. Let me ask you, how often have you been stable when somebody comes ranting or shouting at you? When somebody decides that you are the reason behind their problem, even when you are not the reason behind the problem. I don't know if you understand that concept. Okay, let me tell you this. Oh, I forgot. I said I was going to tell you a story. Okay, a quick one. Let me tell you this story before the main story I was meant to tell you. I used a public transport last year, during December. I used a public transport. I went out with my little child. And on entering the Marwa, we call it Marwa, this yellow keke napep, using that means of transportation, I entered into this napep, and I did not know, honestly speaking, I didn't know I was discomfiting the person beside me with the bag I was carrying, because I had my little child in front and my bag beside me, and then the bag was eating her and making her feel uncomfortable. She did not give me a prior notice. She did not mention it to me. The next thing this lady did was to shout at me. And she was like, Madam, will you get your bag out of my... I beg. Take care. If you cannot take care of your child, keep your child in the house. Blah, blah, blah. Don't use your own to discomfit me. And I just looked at her. I was so surprised, because she didn't give me prior notification that, excuse me, your bag is making me uncomfortable. She just shouted. I was so surprised. You can see the expression on my face, right? I was so surprised. And I looked at her and I'm like, but you didn't even give me a prior notification that this bag is discomfiting you. The next thing she did was to shout again. And let me tell you, she was willing to fight. She was willing to fight. But then what did I do? I expressed myself calmly. I remained stable. I did not raise my voice at any point in time. I did not do that. Why? Because I understand that peace is stability. Even when the atmosphere is not right, but you have learned to master the art of peace, it will help you to remain stable. This is why you should hold on to the end of this webinar so that you can understand how you can practice this. What did I do that moment? Don't let me jump. Don't let me jump. We are getting there. Don't let me jump. Now back to the initial story I wanted to tell you that made me choose peace building as a what? Tell me. Come on. You're not getting it. That made me choose peace building as a career path. Oh, oh my goodness. I grew up in a part. I like to tell this story, honestly speaking, because do you know why I like to tell this story? Because when people see me now, they barely believe that it is my story. And that is because I choose to make beauty out of my ashes. I grew up in one of the most turbulent, troubled, violent area in Lagos. Can you guess? Guess where that is? Are you there? Can you guess? Can you guess? I grew up in Mushin. Yes. I grew up in Mushin, and it's a story I like to tell, honestly speaking, because it is a way to tell people that your background cannot always determine your future. I grew up in Mushin, and there was this particular year where trouble broke out. Violence broke out between the Yorubas and Igbos, if I'm not mistaken. I really can't remember, but it was an intertribal conflict. It broke out. So during that time, we felt everything. If you know Mushin very well, Mushin is a place where violence will happen in 5 minutes. 5 minutes ago, everywhere will be troubled. There will be chaos. And the next minute, everywhere will be normal and calm as if nothing ever happened. That's it. So growing up there, one day during this chaotic period, I was on the streets fetching water. I think 5 houses, if I'm not mistaken, 5 houses away from our house then. I went to fetch water, and in the process, this trouble broke out. Violence began, and everybody started running for their life to save their head. Oh, my precious mother, she was already outside the gate waiting for her precious daughter to be back. Meanwhile, I was gisting with my co-fetchers. If there is any word like that, I was gisting with my co-fetchers. Before you know it, everyone scattered as if, oh my goodness, with the water on my head. In fact, okay, I was close to the house, so it saved me. I started running with the water on. Before you know, my mother was outside waiting for me. And that was it. We all ran inside the gate. And the next minute, everywhere became calm, as if nothing happened. Peace was on the outside, but those of us who stayed there knew that that 5 minutes was a whole lot to develop, for one's blood pressure to rise. For some people, for stampede to happen, that 5 minutes was enough. And that is why I chose this path, to ensure that we live a peaceful life, to sensitize people on how to live a peaceful life, to help people understand that peace is not something to be traded with anything. It's something that we are meant to hold dearly, because every human deserves peace. And that is why I followed this path. Because that period, people died. Glory to God, I'm alive to tell the story. How about those who could not make it? That is why I will never, ever choose violence in any way, anytime. I will never choose conflict over peace. I will always choose peace. And you should do the same. Watching this webinar, you should do the same. Let us go on. Peace is clarity, because our time is fast spent. Peace is what? Clarity. When you know that you have no issue with anybody, you are good on the outside, you are good on the inside, you are not setting up a wrestling stage or a boxing stage to deal with somebody in your mind, that is peace. Peace is clarity, and it is what? Mastery over your internal world. And that is why we are having this webinar today. Peace mastery, to help you understand how you can master peace, how you can hold peace dearly, how you can become a peaceful person without thinking about it, without negotiating it. That is why we are here. Now let us talk about the 3 layers of peace. We have inner peace, we have relational peace, and we have environmental peace. If you had been following from the onset, remember I've been talking about peace in your surroundings and not peace on the inside. That is what environmental peace. But do not let us jump. Let us get it straight. Inner peace. This is your emotional thermostat. You know, let me use starting a car as an example. When you use your key, when you input your key to start your car, that is what? Inner peace. It is your emotional thermostat. It is what gets you going for the day. It is the environment on your inside. It is your inner environment. It is what helps you to start your day on a good note or on a bad note. Has it ever happened to you that you woke up and nobody annoyed you, but you are not just happy? And that is when you hear people say, I'm not in the mood. You must have used that word before. I caught you. That's when you hear people say, I'm not in the mood. I'm not just in the mood this morning. No, something is not right. There is no inner peace. If you trace it back, you will realize that it is something that had happened. It's possible that it had happened 2-3 days back, 2-3 weeks back, or even before you went to bed. I'm giving you this tip now. Anytime you wake up and you don't feel happy, or you don't feel to be in a good mood, check yourself well. Sit down. Just do a 5-minute reminiscing to trace it back, and you will realize that it's something that had happened that made you not to be in the mood. So from now on, don't just wake up and say, I'm not in the mood. There is nothing like that. Go and check well. Something had taken your peace, and that is what made you not to be in the mood, to feel like you are not in the mood. Do you get that? I hope you are getting something. So inner peace, it is your emotional thermostat. If your inner environment is chaotic, every part of your life, did you hear that? Why? Because it is what determines expression. Your inner peace determines your expression. What you express outside is dependent on what you are experiencing on the inside. So again, I say, if you wake up and you feel like I am not in the mood, it is because something is not right on the inside. There is no inner peace. What should you do? Sit down, think about it, reminisce, just do a little, take a step backward. On the inside, you will find it, and immediately you find it, grab it. What should you do? Grab it. And do what? That is it. That is it. Grab it and make sure that it does not continue like that. Address it. We are going to see how you can address such, even as we proceed in this webinar. Now let us talk about relational peace. This is the harmony in your home, marriage, friendships, and workplace. So if at your place of work, you are good with everyone, that is relational peace. Remember, I cited an example when we started. If for any reason you feel you are at peace with your colleague, and inside of you, you are setting up a boxing stage with that same colleague, that is not relational peace. So this is the harmony in your home. If in your home you are good with your siblings, your parents, your husband or your wife, that is relational peace. Your friends, harmony in friendships, your best friend, your acquaintance, you are good with them, that is relational peace. Then the workplace, those who you relate with at work, that is relational peace. It has to be with those it has to do with those you are relating with, those you are in conversation with, those you are expressing yourself to, those who are coming to you, those who are around you. That is relational peace. Now, when we talk about environmental peace, the peace created, this is the kind of peace created by your what? Routines, boundaries, space, and the people around you. What is that thing you do every day that gives you peace? Continue with it. If you wake up and you feel like until you gym, then you don't feel peaceful, continue with it. Environmental peace has to do with what? What the peace you have by what? By your routines. The peace that comes as a result of your routines, the boundaries, the space that you set. Boundaries can give you peace. That is what you don't know. You don't have to want to please everybody. When you set a boundary, it can give you peace. And one way to enjoy peace is to set boundaries. Know those who you are bringing to, know those who you are putting on the inner chamber of your life. There is something called outer chamber and inner chamber. Know those who you are bringing into the inner chamber of your life, and those who you are putting on the outer chamber of your life. It is not everyone that should have access to your inner chamber. Yes, if you're not going with anything, maybe you should go with this. Know who to bring to your inner chamber. Set these two chambers for your life, the outer chamber and the inner chamber. The inner chamber should consist of valuable people, those who you can impute into their lives, and those who can also impute into your life. It is not about the money, it is about the peace they bring into your life. And those who you are meant to put on the outer chamber, know them. It is not everyone that should have access into your inner chamber. Everyone should not have access to your inner chamber. So no, I'm not going to talk more about this, but I hope and believe that you will understand it. So let us talk about why you may have been struggling with peace, because this is one reason I decided to take up this webinar. Some of you struggled with peace all through 2025, but you did not know. You felt everything is all right simply because your environment is looking well. But you did not know that your inability to have a restful night is a sign that you are not enjoying peace. It's a sign that you struggle with peace. And this is what I want to list right now. And anyone that speaks to you, just give me a thumbs up, or you do what? Chakam. For those who are not Nigerian watching me, when we say chakam, it means capture it, capture it, capture it, capture that moment. So why you may have been struggling with peace? Constant overstimulation. You stay too long on what you are not meant to stay too long on. What you are meant to address once and for all, you decided not to address it, and then you are beginning to think over and over about it. You are pampering it, you are rolling it, you are rubbing it, you are keeping it and it is disturbing your peace. Constant overstimulation of challenges around you. This way is one of the way you may have been struggling with peace. Check it well right now. Another one is emotional wounds. That emotional wound that you did not allow to heal, you did not give it room to heal. Somebody broke your heart. Somebody broke your heart and you are yet to let go. It is one way that could have been disturbing your peace. It is one way that could have been making you struggle with peace.